That's better, there you go.
Yeah, it feels a little bit better. I think the main thing I've been feeling lately and sort of seeing in my game a little bit is almost just a feeling that the club face is, I don't know how to describe it, it just doesn't feel like oomphy through impact.
So it just feels a little bit more unstable.
Yeah, I'd almost say slappy, but I don't mean like slappy, as in it's not all over the place, but it doesn't feel committed, I guess, is that feeling, just that power, that oomph.
So I mean, I think if we take you back into your setup position there, Jess, you know, we've done the work recently where if you get that club to the top of the backswing, where we've talked about obviously getting this spine angle more neutral. Before, obviously, you were tilting over here this way too much, so we got that down there. I think where that's coming from, the issue is that when you're making the transition back, so as you start down, what's happening? You're making a little bump to the left with your lower body, but as you work the club in, this left shoulder's going too high here. So what that's doing now is as that goes higher and you get closer, that goes higher. So effectively, the upper body starts backing up. And as that does it, it's almost like your upper body has put the handbrake on and stopped. Okay, so when you get to the ball, the hand action is going to be a little bit faster through impact, so that's where the club head can feel a little bit unstable.
Okay.
And like you say, you're getting that sensation back where sometimes the shot's going off okay, but it doesn't feel like there's that resistance.
No, it's just that real sense of feeling, power through the shot, I guess. It feels a little bit like once I've come through the ball, I almost can feel it's like an exaggerated feeling, but it's almost like feeling like it's just not got that real held off punch that we were working on last time. And I know last winter we worked a lot on the lower body opening up and sort of driving. So I think if I've understood correctly from what you said there, it's now matching the upper body work to that lower body. Absolutely, so maybe I'm like going with this, but leaving my upper body a little bit behind.
Correct, yes.
Which would make sense actually, because I've been trying to do the left shoulder low from our lesson last time. And sometimes it will come off and it will work great, but sometimes it almost feels like I can't execute that left shoulder low as much as I would like.
No, sure.
And I'm guessing that's like the upper body putting the handbrake on. Like
that's right, yeah. So again, what we're seeing is you've worked very hard and obviously got, we worked on sternum down, which in your case has made the spine angle more neutral at the top instead of tilting over. That's given you a great platform to make the transition back. So I think, as you said, that loose club head feeling at the ball is when you're making that shift, the lower body's shifting across, but as we start to go into the impact zone, the left shoulder is actually going up. That's also going to take the club down here. So you see, as the left shoulder goes up, effectively here now, my upper body's put the handbrake on. So that club still needs to keep going. So what it can do, it can just make the hand action a little bit more aggressive, and you can see the club head is moving a little bit more than we'd like it to through the strike of the ball. Can make contact a bit unpredictable, and like you say, some days someone could shank it or do anything, but in your case obviously the shot's going off, but it's losing a little bit of that strike stability and power.
I think that would be the main thing, is sort of feeling like it's just lost that power through the ball.
Well, like you said, what we're trying to do is, and I think with great players, we watch at live speed, we see the beautiful turn through the ball, and I think people's perception is if there was a stake in the ground, when I'm at the top of the backswing, just put that down there, is that they just rotate centrally on that stake. Of course, you can see if I just turn centrally from the good position, the closer I get to the ball, the upper body starts to go back, left shoulder high. I think swings look a bit different in lots of players at the top, but what is quite a consistent move is that when they go from the top, is that little shift to the left, left hip, left shoulder, a little shift forwards, and also feels like I'm staying lower. So of course now you can see that as I work into impact, my upper body's forward, the club is lagging. That can help me get a bit shaft lean into impact, a bit more downward strike and a more stable club head.
Okay, brilliant. So if I give it a go and just focus on, again, keeping that good turn. So it's almost...
So if we take you back up to the top, Jess.
So here, get that good
so
turn.
you can see my hand here, shifting toward there, that's it. Keep coming forwards, there you go.
Okay.
That's it now. Now, effectively there, if you keep moving there towards your impact, now you're going to start to create some shaft lean.
Yes.
Which is going to help stabilise the club head at impact.
Yeah, whereas I can typically, if lower body's gone but upper body's stayed behind, get a little bit early rather than have that lean.
That's it. If you come back there, Jess, so as you said, you're coming in, as you said, left shoulder's a little high, and you're a little here with the shaft back.
Yeah, a little early on it.
Like so there. And you can just see that club head stability's gone.
Okay. So the feel now, adding on to the turn, but more focused on the transition, would really be that low for longer.
Absolutely.
And weight shift forward,
I think
I guess.
probably, just my experience again, when you do it well, it can almost feel, and this is obviously for your iron play, because with our iron play, we're looking for a much more descending attack angle on the ball for club head stability and strike. And again, I think in many cases, when you feel like you've shifted the left side forward and down, is when you've done it well. You probably say it nearly felt like my left shoulder was on the mat.
Okay.
But when you actually see
really
it,
low.
it's that feeling against reality. When you see it on a video, all that's actually happened is it's just moved across, so it's kind of stayed in its posture and allowed you then to release it out the other side properly.
Okay. Let's give it a go. Good turn, and then
that's it. That's it. There you go. So you're getting that.
Like low for longer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Here we go. It's okay, but almost that's actually a good example of, again, club head. It's almost like it's shifted a little bit.
Yeah, you can feel there that
in my hand.
That just hit the mat slightly before impact. So again, where you've gone a little high, the club's gone down to the ground, so it's just interacted with the floor a little bit as well. So it hasn't helped that stability on strike.
Okay.
So like you say, you feel getting that feeling there, just shifting forwards, almost like it feels like you're going to hit the golf ball down and through the stones in front of you. There we go.
Yeah, that felt
That's
better.
way more so. So again, when you look at this finish, the torso's released, but you're way more forward here. Arms are a bit lower down, a little bit more of a tighter recoil, so which is exactly what we're looking for. So instead of having that left shoulder high, putting the angel on the tree, which we should have done a couple of weeks ago, you're now down low enough to turn the Christmas tree lights on.
Okay, perfect. That's a good visual. So we're going good turn and low, forward and low.
That's awesome there, Jess. Again, so look at this now. So upper body has rotated round. Okay, way more forward. So when you come back into your finish position, your back is more upright. Arm structure is lower down. This is a great telltale sign here for club face. So when we recoil the shaft back down parallel to the ground, we can look at the face. And you can see that leading edge is vertical, that meant it was very square and stable at impact. Right. Often if you felt that loose one as a checkpoint, when you bring the shaft back to that point, you'll see the toes turned over here, and that's a telltale sign, obviously, the activity of the club head through the ball.
So that's something to look for in that recoil of the club. If I was to then drop it down to this height, if the club face is facing the ground too much, I've maybe got a little bit of that kind of slappy feel going on.
Absolutely.
Rather than that commitment through, with the club face through impact.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, that's a good sign to look for. That felt better.
That's awesome. See, again, look at that.
Look
at this finish now. So look at.
I was worried when that felt better, and you'd be like, no.
I was just going to check. I was wondering if your calf muscles pulled again, but you seem to have perfected that now. You can stay in position.
That just felt. That's what I want. Is that feeling of like.
So it's much more of a punchy effect. What feels a bit more punchiness against the ball.
Okay, forward and low.
That's brilliant. That is fantastic. Now look at this. Look at the shot pattern now.
Yeah, much
and yet
better,
again.
isn't it?
Brilliant strike. Where we go, Jess. Look at this. Great little telltale sign for anyone. So sometimes when they hit a ball, they can, if it's a poor shot, people can sometimes think, oh, there's 20 things wrong with the swing. This little man here, the club face, is always the king.
Okay.
So sometimes they can, if they check that and it's all twisted over the place, that didn't exist at impact. Okay. Now we know in your case, the reason this club face can turn over, there'll be a cause before that happened.
Yes.
And we know that the left shoulder high, as we said, popping that angel on the Christmas tree. Okay, when the left shoulder's low, turn the Christmas tree lights on. The club face allows you that downward hit and stability to hit great golf shots like that.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So really the key at the minute for me is making sure that left shoulder stays low, because that's that domino that if it goes high, the rest of it. And actually it's tricky, isn't it? Because there's like lots of dominoes. Obviously the turn, which I can be dry drilling and making sure I'm getting the right feel for. But if that then is there, very much that left shoulder low if I don't do that and go left shoulder high, the rest, it's sort of, you can't save it.
Yeah, like you're demonstrating there. If you just go back into that position, Jess, slowly with, you know, if you get to the top, obviously you make sure if the left shoulder goes up now high, you can quite clearly see as you're reaching impact, it's like stuck here, you with me? So that's now effectively stopping. So you're going to get a fast hand action release of the club to the ball. Now in golf, that's a sensitive position. So you could go out one day doing that and your timing, your hand act is perfect and you have a blinder.
Okay.
You shoot a great round. The next 3 or 4 rounds after that, you could be doing the same. And that movement
just kills you.
You can end up thinking like I've never played golf before.
Right.
Because the club head isn't going to exist at impact.
No. And what would be the main miss with that?
Well, as I said, if I just try and demonstrate to you here, so you know when the club head is coming in, obviously if this club head is active first, you can see if I'm leaning back and I release the hands quick, the club can either come up and top it or thin it. If it goes into closure rate, I could hit it in the middle and hit a bit of a turn it over left. Or the other danger is if I'm getting very quick with that move and I close it dramatically. And I think, you know, with a shank to the right, a lot of people's immediate perception is, well, the club face must be wide open for the ball to go off at right angles. But in a lot of cases, that's not true. So if you were coming down inside line, better swing path, if that releases early and it closes, it can go right into the neck of the club, which then rebounds off the hosel and sends it out at right angles with a closed club face.
Okay, gosh, so quite a few misses there.
Yeah.
I think my main one in that case would be those pulls.
Yeah, so you find,
that real, like, feels like you've just turned it over and it sort of starts out okay, but then you just see it sort of really head to the left.
I think, like you say, that's what we noticed. We haven't really seen a shank or anything. We're seeing that little bit of that pulled shot left. But
which, as you say, sometimes you can have rounds where you somewhat get away with that or can play with it. But I think in this sort of strive for wanting to work on things over the winter, like now is the time to make those changes that might take a lot of that repetition and practice to embed. Just knowing that obviously being able to narrow in what those misses are rather than have those big somewhat destructive pulls in there.
I think, and like I said there's that, we were just chatting there about what's the danger with the club face, is that, of course, because I'm leaning back, I'm going high and the club's coming, hands are getting faster, you know, we've just talked about that fragility.
Yes.
So in your case, we're seeing you find the face, but another player might get into that position and have a bout of the shanks and they can't stop it. And sometimes it might not be the delivery of the path, but because of the way the body's working and the club face control, it creates those sort of dangerous issues. I think that's where it's very fragile, and that's why sometimes a golfer can maybe question themselves, well, I had a great round yesterday and my swing felt exactly the same the day after, which it was, but maybe the rhythm was a bit quicker, and all of a sudden the fragility of where that club face was the day before now has exposed them into a position where they think, why am I shanking it all the time?
Right. So it's trying to almost just get to that place of, for me, I think of it as like commitment through the ball, but it's also creating more of that consistency. So you know roughly that you can rely on the shots that you're hitting rather than think, I don't know what's going to come out today. Okay.
Well, it's like you know, with an iron there, Jess, just trying to bury the ball on the ground.
Ball on the ground, right. So I guess it feels like a weight shift.
Yes, it is that little weight shift towards the target, definitely.
And then turn.
Correct, that's right. Flush that one, Jess.
Thank you. I always hold my breath a little bit in case
Yeah,
it's
now
not
next
gone as
to
well.
stay with I'll tell you what, that's Christmas come early. Hey, Father Christmas is coming a little early for you this year.
And the sun's out, what more could you ask for?